What is up and welcome back, and today I'm real hyped to bring you a brand new review for the silent balls. It's going to be the brand new two models from Wawawewa. We do have the X, then we do have the Plus also. And I do want to say that I did receive both these balls as a promo from Wawawewa, but this video is going to be very objective. I'm going to give you my honest opinion if I think both these two new models, if they're worth it or not. And we are going to be comparing it to the first video I did from Wawawewa. And in that video, it was an independent video. I purchased all the balls myself. And this one came out on top. And we did compare a lot of different silent balls. So very impressed with this one. It is going to be very soft. I do love the weight of it. It came out to be the heaviest out of all the silent balls. And like I said, great bounce and everything. So very impressed with the first model from Wawawewa. Now with these two new models, I am very curious, and let's get right into it. So one big difference is going to be that they have grooves, and I think that's going to be a game changer, because a regular basketball, when it is spinning in your hand, right, you do feel those grooves, right? So if you are trying to get better and improve your handles, you want something that mimics the grooves of a real basketball. Not necessarily, it can be a good thing and a bad thing, because I do practice sometimes with a smooth basketball, right? One of those older basketballs, or you get a ball that's not that pricey, it doesn't have texture on it, and the ball can feel a lot more slipperier, right? It can feel that it slides on your hand. So it can be a good thing that you practice with a ball that's smooth, but also can be a good thing that you practice with an actual ball that feels like a game ball. And that's where these two come in. Like I said, I do love the grooves. They're not going to be as thick as a real basketball, but you do feel it in your hand when the ball is spinning. And I love that texture. It does feel very natural, like a real basketball. And even one time I was in a rush to go to the gym and shoot some hoops, and I actually picked this ball by accident because it was laying right next to some of my other basketballs. And I just grabbed it. When I picked it up, I was like, whoa, it's actually the silent ball. Because from a distance, it does look like a real basketball also, with the lines and everything. And you can almost see the grooves, right? You do see them, right? But they're not going to be as pronounced, right? But you still see them. So when I picked it up, it did catch me off guard. So very close to a real basketball. Same thing with the X. The X also has grooves. I'm going to say, if you're wondering which one has thicker grooves, they are going to be the exact same. I feel no difference between the grooves. Okay. Now also, what I do like about these two balls is, for example, with the original, when you do move your hand around it, it feels very smooth for the most part. And you do feel a little bit, does feel like there is something where the ball gets fused. I'll give you a close-up so you can see the material and then see what I'm talking about. This is going to be the original. Hopefully the camera does its thing so you can see the material. Even when you squish it, it's a lot more softer. Feels very nice to the touch. But right here where the ball gets fused, right, there is a little part where it feels a little hard. So that almost feels, for example, like a real basketball where you put the needle in. And also where the ball gets fused, you can see that the circle, you see the reflection of it with the light, is not that big. So I love seeing that in silent balls, because when that circle is too big, it tends to affect the bounce. When it's a big fused area, when you drop it, if it does hit that area, it does bounce off. And this one, it does bounce real good. Okay, so now we're gonna give you a close-up of the X so we can compare it. You can see that right there. There we go, camera. Do your thing. You can see the material of it. Then if you squish it, you can see how it feels. It's a little bit more firmer than that first one. that first close-up. And also, if we turn it, you can see where the ball gets fused when they're creating the ball. See how big that circle is? It's not too big compared to other silent balls. And I do love that it has that little hard spot right there. Does mimic like a needle feels in an actual basketball. That right there surprised me. It's a little bit more predominant feel in both these two balls than compared with this one. Definitely, I think when they made this one, they weren't thinking of making it feel as close to a basketball. It was more a foam type design with a basketball look, right? But as they kept on improving their technology, they added the grooves and they even added that little needle part, right? That regular basketballs have. I know when the ball's spinning, you can feel it in your hand, that little needle part sometimes. Now this is going to be the plus ball. Camera, do your thing. You can see the foam. You press down on this one. It's going to be very similar to the X, but not as soft as the original design. And it also has right there. Also has that needle type feel to it. So very impressed with, like I said, the texture of both these two balls. And I also measured both balls. And a regular basketball, it is going to be 29.5. And I did go around on both these two new balls. And it did come out to around 29.6. Around 29.6. Right there. So this could be slightly over on both these two balls. 29.5. It is going to be slightly over on both these. And even this one, I did measure that one, and it's going to be similar to these. So I do love the consistency of Wawawewa. Their balls, they all measure the exact same size. But when you do put them right next to a regular basketball, right, it looks like it's the same size. But it's going to be slightly bigger, right, compared to a regular basketball. Now for the weight, we're going to look at the weight next. And like I said, I do love the weight of this one. This one's going to be the heaviest when compared it to a lot of different silent balls. Even the In the Lab 2.0, this one came out a lot more heavier. Let's find out the weight of these. Do have my scale right here. Let's let it reset. It's going to be for the X 11.70. 11.70 for the X. 11.70 ounces. Now for the plus ball. 12.50. 12.50. Yes. 12.50 for the plus ball. And for the original model, 13.10. 13.10 ounces. So we do put them right next to each other, right? If we're looking at these silent balls, it's going to be from lightest to heaviest. 11.70 for the X, and then 12.50 for the plus, and then for the original model, 13.10 ounces. So they are very close in weight. I still love how heavy this one can feel, because I feel is a regular basketball is a lot more heavier, twice the weight of these. So I do like how this one feels, but these are very close. I just love that they're not 10.50 or less. I do love the weight of these, so they do very well. And the next thing we're going to compare is the bounce. The bounce is very important, so let's find out the bounce. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to stand right here. We have carpet on this side. floor on this side, and we're going to bounce it from shoulder height and see how well it bounces on both surfaces. Nice. Over the knees. Around right here we can see. Now we go here to the carpet. Around the knee area, so you can see the difference for that first original design. Let's go with the X. Going to be the lightest one, 1170. A little bit above the knees. That one's a good bounce above the knees. Right there. Pretty similar. It's going to be, one more time. Okay, we saw that. It's going to be around the knee area. So far the bounce is the same for the original, and then for the X, now this is going to be the plus. Let's go right here. Same deal. One more time. So pretty similar, like I said, and then there we have it. Okay. So we saw that they bounce all very similar. They're going to bounce better right here on the floor. Then they're going to bounce a lot less on the carpet. And that makes sense. So if you do have very thin carpet, then you're going to get a better bounce with these silent balls. You're going to get the best bounce when it's a floor like this, a hard floor, wood floor. Vinyl is going to bounce very good. Now, like we said, thin carpet, also a better bounce. But if you have that thick, fluffier carpet, it's going to feel better on your feet when you're walking around, when you're laying on the carpet. But for a silent ball, it's going to be a little bit harder to bounce because it's going to be more muffled, right? It's going to sink in more, and then the bounce is not going to be as good. So now you know the difference. But definitely on the hard surface, it bounces very good. I do like how these bounce and how they feel. So there you have a nice comparison of these three balls. I do love the weight of the original, and I do love how it's smooth, right? That's good practice because sometimes you don't want to practice, at least I do practice with a regular basketball with nice grooves, nice texture. A more expensive basketball, you do get that feel in your hands, even your fingertips. But sometimes it's nice to practice with a ball that's a lot more smoother, with maybe less expensive, doesn't have that much texture, and the ball kind of feels like it's slipping in your hands. And that can help out because in the actual game, the ball's not always going to be, dry. It could be a little bit moist. And if you're not used to handling that ball when it's sliding or slipping on your hand, then you can be losing the ball and getting it stolen. So that's why a smooth ball, silent ball, works very well. But if you want to practice just like how it feels in an actual game ball, when you do have a ball that feels like your nice expensive ball with nice grooves, right? This right here is going to be the closest silent balls out there, right? I haven't seen any other silent ball that has grooves. Wawawewa doing some nice innovative things, right? Thinking outside the box, giving it a little bit more of that harder texture. This does feel more like foam, real soft foam, but now with these coatings on top, right? Does feel more firm than this one. You do get something closer to a real basketball, and I love to see it, right? They bounce very well. You can't go wrong with both these right here. You can't go wrong. Good practice. And you can see how loud these are, right? Look at that. Your kid or maybe your girlfriend, right? Now you can bounce a ball and she's not going to get upset or nothing. You're not going to wake nobody up Somebody could be sleeping in the other room. You're going to be bouncing a silent ball. Let me do the bounce test without me actually speaking so you can actually hear the difference. The original. So as you can tell, all these balls are not going to make a whole bunch of noise, so it is going to help out a whole lot. I do want to make a disclaimer, they can still break things, right? I can throw it over here and not that big of a deal, right? Same thing over here, not that big of a deal. But if this were to fly over here and hit one of these glasses, it is going to knock the glass over. So have that in mind. Very nice, doesn't make a lot of noise, but if you are a parent, they can still break things. Just have in mind where your kid is going to be practicing. So that's going to be a wrap for this video. Hopefully it was able to help you out so you can decide which of these 3 balls is going to be best for you to pick up. And I'm going to say one of these balls is not better than the other one. It's just going to depend what you're looking for, what you want to practice with. For example, the original design is going to be a lot more smoother and heavier. And now you have the X and the Plus, which mimic what an actual basketball feels like, even with the little needle detail that they added. So also, these 2 balls do feel more firmer than the original. So that's something to look at if you are looking for maybe something that's going to last a little longer. Having that little extra coating can help out in certain situations. And we said that this one does feel a little bit more firmer than this one. That's what I could perceive when I squished the ball. I felt this one had a little bit more firmer feel. So you have all those details, and also for the pricing, that one's going to be the least expensive for 35 USD, and then the X is going to be 38, and then the Plus is going to be 40 USD. So the price difference is not that big, just a couple different dollars in between. But now you have all the information so you can decide if it is going to be something you want to buy or not. But definitely I can vouch for this brand. Like I said, it is a promo, but I did do this video, the first video, independently, and for the most part, for all my reviews, I buy everything with my own money. 98% of my reviews is with my own money. So it's very nice that Wawawewa provided me with an affiliate link. So if you are thinking of picking one of these up, use the affiliate link, and that is going to help me out. Also, I do want to say that I am going to be giving out 2 of these silent balls, the Silent Ball X and then the Silent Ball Plus. And all you have to do is comment in the comment section which of these 2 balls you like to get. And in about 2 weeks, once I upload the video, in 2 weeks, I'll choose 2 random winners. So, like I said, I do like both of these silent balls. So that right there will be something nice for everybody watching the videos. And I'll try to, in 2 weeks, choose a winner and then just reply back. Email me, okay? Emailing me is very important because I want to make sure I'm sending the silent balls to the correct person. So that's gonna do it for this video. Like I said, very happy with the Wawawewa brand. They're doing nice things, creative things, innovative, and nice to see a silent ball that feels just like a basketball. So that's gonna do it for this video. We'll be back next time with more. Until then, peace and much love, basketball family.